In today's market, we have a plethora of portable compressors, some offering additional functionality such as being a power bank, flashlights, or having a solar panel charging system. In this review, we have the high-end Sandberg offering, simply called a Jumpstarter TirePump 10,000. What this device advertised to do is inflate your tires, charge your smartphone, and jumpstart your car multiple times on just one charge. And in this review, we will put those claims to the test. The Sandberg Car Jumpstarter TirePump 10,000 is a mouthful of a product name, but does make sense. It is a jumpstarter as it is equipped with jumpstarter cables and a large battery inside. It has a small air compressor built into it that will be powered on from the same battery, and of course the 10,000 number is in fact the power bank capacity offered by this unit. 10,000 mAh to be exact. All this neatly packaged in a small case that has a weight of no more than 800 grams. The specifications actually list it as 784 grams, but it is what it is. In terms of the form factor, this compressor-jumpstarter is tiny, with a length of just 19.5 centimeters and a width of 9.7 centimeters. This thing could easily pass as an oversized power bank. In terms of the pricing, this jumpstarter is no less than $150 or 140 euros, and it is readily available in most parts of the world. Sure, it is not cheap at all, but you do get a lot for your money in terms of features and a small form factor package. But we start with the bundle and what you get. The jumpstarter is delivered and stored in a large zip bag that contains the jumpstarter and all its required accessories. Speaking of which, you get the jumpstarter clamp wires, an air hose with detachable valve, 4 additional valves to fit any wheel you need, and a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. You also have a user manual which details the functionality of the unit, but more on that later. In terms of the design, the Jumpstarter is pretty simple. You have a grey plastic casing with a black glossy top plate, which also acts as the screen of the jumper. The screen is small, but it's actually been masked by the top glossy plate, which creates the illusion that the entire side of the casing is the screen. It's a neat trick that delivers a good result in terms of visual and practicality. Next to the screen, we have the buttons that control the Jumpstarter, and they are pretty easy to understand. The U button will change the measurement unit displayed on the screen, the M stands for manual mode or automatic, thus it will cycle between them. The Sun button activates the flashlight, which is located on the smaller side of the jumper, and the on and off button does just that, turns the unit on and off. And of course, in the center we have the air pump button, which will turn on the air compressor, while the plus and minus buttons next to it are used to set the target air pressure. On the opposite side of the flashlight, we have the main input and output ports, mainly a USB Type-C and a USB Type-A port. Both are protected from the environment by a soft orange rubber cap. Next to these ports, we have the threaded air compressor output port. Here we will thread and lock into place the included air tube, which is equipped with a locking valve. On the side of the casing, we have the output socket for the battery jumper start cables. This too has a useful rubber cap to prevent moisture and dirt from getting inside. And that's all of the input and output ports of the Jumpstarter, and we can move on with the casing, which is made from solid plastic that has a good texture on all sides. The casing is split into 2 parts, which are held together with these small hex screws on the corners. With those screws removed, we can split open the casing and we see what's inside, and everything is quite neatly placed. And we start looking to see what electronic components are being used with the Jumpstarter, and we have the TM1629A, the unit's LED control driver. This chip is made by Titan Microelectronics and has been widely used in all sorts of devices that require LED control and displays. This thing will modulate the voltages of the LEDs and control the display used on the screen, among other things. The MOSFETs used with this Jumpstarter are made by AGM Semi and are the model number AGM33D, widely used MOSFETs in all general applications with a good track record for reliability and performance. The S-8254A is the protection for the battery cells inside the Jumpstarter. This chip is made by Ablic and handles everything regarding the battery protection, overcharge, over discharge, over voltage, just to name a few. And now that we know what's inside and have a good idea of the electronic components used and their quality, let's actually test this Jumpstarter. And we start with the air compressor, which will turn a flat tire into a usable wheel in around 3 minutes from 5 psi to the required spec of 45 psi. This is a good performance for an air compressor of this size. Perhaps it can inflate the tire faster if a smaller tire or wheel combination is used, but even so, 3 minutes is a good time to wait for your tire to get fixed. Next up, we have the Jumpstart functionality, which will jumpstart any vehicle that is using a 12-volt battery. The process is simple. You connect the cables to the Jumpstarter and then match the positive and negative cables clips to your battery terminals. The LEDs on the cable side will flash and a relay inside will click, letting you know that the Jumpstarter has delivered the current. Looking back at this review, I have to admit that I had my doubts about this Jumpstarter, because it's small and was promising a lot of features for such a low package. And small Jumpstarters I have seen before, the same way I've seen small air compressors, but not one that has both of them at the same time. Yet this Sandberg unit delivers on its promise of doing both at the same time while also being a power bank and a flashlight. In terms of value for money, while this Jumpstarter is expensive, it does offer a good value for money as it can deliver on its promises and does so well. In fact, I jump-started my car with a dead battery no less than 6 times before the jumper was too low on power to boost the battery. That is not an easy thing to do, especially with a car that has a big engine and a Jumpstarter that is of this size.